This one is pretty easy. It's really close to English. Ba. And then ga, like a hard G. Da, like a D. That's how most of this video will go. I'm just taking you through every single sound in the Koine Greek language, vowels and consonants. Before we go any farther, I just want to zoom out right here to tell you where this pronunciation comes from. I'm going based on the work of Ben Cantor in his books about the pronunciation of New Testament Greek. Okay, let's get back to the letters. Second vowel, be, ye, de, ba, ga, da. Notice that when we do this combination, it's ga, the consonant is g, like a hard G. But if we do this combination, it sounds like a Y. Yeah. Yeah. This is probably the hardest letter, so don't get tripped up right here at the beginning of the video. This is literally the hardest thing. Now, this one sounds like a Z in English. So za. Don't forget to pronounce the sounds with me because that will build your muscle memory. You see the letters and then you speak them out loud. That'll link together the visual image and the muscle memory of you actually pronouncing the word. Make this a practice. Don't just watch the video. Make this a practice to say it with me. Okay, this vowel here, it's pronounced like A. Be, ze, de, ye. Here we have iota, b, ye, d, z, the. So this letter here is like English th. Ba, za, the, de, ze, ye, be. B, ye, d, z, the. They, ye, de, ze, be. So we've got the first 4 vowels. That's over half the vowels in Greek. Now's a good time to introduce the first probably 2 diphthongs over here. So on the right side of the screen, I have 2 vowel combinations. Whenever you see these 7, if you count them, there's 7 combinations here of 2 vowels. The first 4 are pronounced together with just a single sound. The last 3 are a little bit different, but we'll get to those towards the end of the video. So let's do the first couple of diphthongs here. So this diphthong actually sounds exactly like this letter, epsilon. So it's pronounced the same way. Be, ye, the, de, ze. And then this diphthong is pronounced the same as iota. So it's e. B, ye, z, the, b, d, ye, the. E, same as iota. Actually, we can go ahead and do this one too, even though you haven't learned this first letter. So this sounds exactly like iota as well. E. B, ye, the, ki, z. Okay, so those are easy. Don't forget to pronounce these with me as I move around the vowels. Now let's work through the next cluster of consonants. Ka, la, ma. So this is L as in lamb, la, and this is actually the letter lambda, la. This is mu as in mom, ma as in mom, na, ksa, la, ma, ksa, ka, na, ne, kse, le, ke, me, pe, kse, ne, le, me, ke, kse, le, mi, li, xi, ni, ki, Thi, yi, di, zi. Exact same here, right? Mi, li, xi, thi, ni, ki. Let's go ahead and do this vowel. Ko. This is an easy one. It's just like the English letter O. This is Omicron. Lo, no, xo, tho, go. Okay, when we use Omicron and after gamma, it's again a hard G. So either out the ah or the O, this is a hard G. Ga or go. Ko, zo, do. I'll try to leave a little more space so you can practice these. So you remember what this sounds like? Ke, me, ne, the, ye, be, de, ke, ze, xe, the, ke, de, ne. Now we have another cluster of consonants. P, re, so this is ro, which is pronounced like an English R, but it looks like an English P. So this is a very tricky letter. So re, si, T. That's an easy one. Si, mi, li, p, re, t. And then if I want to sound just like this iota, which diphthongs sound just like the iota? These two, right? Mi, re, si, t, p. Or this one. Si, re, p, t. Z, ki. Okay, let's do this letter. So this one also sounds like iota. So P, re, si, mi, li, yi, not gi, yi, thi, b, d, z, p, re. Notice this one also has a diphthong here, and this diphthong is a unique sound. It's like oo. So this is the only way we get the sound oo. Ku, lu, mu, zu, xu, thu, gu. So hard G here, gu. Now let's bring these together. So these, let's do a spoiler here for the last letter omega. So these four combinations all give you a hard G for gamma. So ga, gu, go, go. Omicron and omega sound the same in Koine Greek. In the Attic or Classical Greek period, these sounded different. When the Koine language was the common language of the Mediterranean world, these sounds merged, so they sound the same. Ga, gu, go, go. All the other vowels, this sounds like a Y. Yeah, yay, yi, yi. And then same, alpha iota sounds just like epsilon, right? So it's like, yeah, also. And then this and this sounds just like iota. So, yeah, yeah, yay, yi, 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 yi. So the ah and o type vowels are called back vowels because when you pronounce those sounds, they come from the back of your mouth. Whereas the e and sounds and a, those come from the front of your mouth. So those are front vowels. So when we do gamma with a front vowel, it sounds like a Y. Gamma with a back vowel sounds like a hard G. The next three letters are the aspirates. So we have fa, ka, psa. So this is like PH or F in English. Fa. This basically is to the English conditioned ear, this sounds identical to kappa. So ka, it actually has a bit of air, like a puff of air coming out, whereas kappa doesn't have that aspiration, that air. So ka, 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 ka. If you're a native English speaker, I don't think it's worth your time to try to distinguish that puff of air. When you're reading the Greek Bible, just say ka, ka. Maybe later on you can work in the aspiration once you're more familiar with the letters. Right now it doesn't matter. Just ka, ka, fa, psa. This one is like a PS, pronounced really close together. Ps, ps, psa, psa, ka, pa, ra, sa, fa, ka, psa, tha, ksa. Notice this one is like a KS pronounced right close together, which is kind of like the English letter X or a KS. So ks, ksa, psa, fa, la, za, da, ga, ba. Psu, ku, fu, nu. Remember, this one is not like a V, it's like a letter N. Nu. This is confusing. It will take practice to get this down. Nu. Mu. Lu. Ku. Thu. Gu. Du. Tu. Fu. Psu. And then we already talked about this one. It's identical to, so Omicron and Omega, pronounce them the same way. Xo, no, to, tho, fo, ko, pso, lo, zo, do, go, bo, so, mo, ko, fo, pso. Now, last thing, we've done this diphthong already, which is oo. It's a unique sound. We don't get that sound any other way. Notice this letter. Remember, it sounds like E, sounds like iota. So thi, xi, p, re. Okay, so that's two distinct sounds that you get with this letter, upsilon, depending on whether it's after the omicron or it's by itself. Now, what about these last three diphthongs? So these three all are very similar. Let's just take them together. So in these three combinations, the upsilon sounds like a V. I know, that's weird. It just so happens the upsilon is the most complicated vowel and gamma is the most complicated consonant. So let's move these around together and practice this. Thav, thev, thave. Kav, kev, cave. Rav, rev, rave. Sav, sev, save. Psav, psev, psave. Kav, kev, cave. Fav, fev, fave. Kav, kev, cave. Ksav, ksev, ksev. Tav, tev, tave. Now let's practice again with a different font. This is a serif font, so notice the little marks on the end of some of the letters. That's called a serif. This is Gentium or Gentium. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'll put a link to this font in the video description as well as the previous font. So the previous font was Alegreya Sans, And I'll write those in the description so you can look for those fonts and download them on your computer if they're not already there. So first we did sans serif, and now we're doing serif. If somebody knows what they're doing with fonts, they'll usually use a sans serif font for display on a computer. But if you're looking at a printed book, it's easier to read something with serifs, with these little marks on the end. So if you're reading Greek out of a book, you'll probably see the serifs on there. Let's practice with the serifs now. B, ye, thi, xi, ni, ki, li, ki, psi, si, mi, zi, xo, do, go, ko, lo, ro, so, ko, pso, fo, no, to, tho, bo. This is exactly the same. Po, ko, do, lo, xo, tho, pso, ko. Do you remember this one? Ki, li, zi, mi, di, yi, bi, ni, ti, fi, pi. Ne, xe, le, ze, ke, de. Lu, ku, du, pu, ku, psu, fu, xu, tu, nu, bu, gu. Pev, kev, dev, nev, tev, bev, yev, zev, mev, sev. Le, ke, de, pe. This combination here, ke, this is the most common word in Greek. It's just the word for and. Ke is and. The, ne, te, ke, pse, ze, di, yi, bi, ni, xi, ti, pi, li, ki, di, zi. Pretty straightforward, right? It'll just take a few repetitions for you to remember this. So if you want to go back through and watch this part of the video again to get more practice, do that. Or open up the video tomorrow and practice these again. If you do it once a day for about a week or so, you'll be remembering these and you won't have any issue. You'll be able to start reading out loud the Greek New Testament. Even if you don't understand most of it, you can go ahead and start going through the motions of reciting and reading. That's an important skill. Last thing I want to explain. So look at the right side. Remember these diphthongs, which are two vowel combinations, and they all have a certain sound that we already went through. Now, what if you have two vowels that are not in that list side by side? How is that pronounced? So it's very straightforward. You just pronounce both vowel sounds. So this is a diphthong, right? It's on our list. It's pronounced eh. But this is pronounced as iota, then alpha separately. So ia. This combination is a diphthong. It's pronounced e. This combination would be ia. E, eo. Just pronounce them separately when they're in this order because it's not in our list of diphthongs. Ie, ae. Now this one is tricky, right? Because you might want to pronounce it like E because you know that Omicron and Omega have the same sound. But this is not pronounced E. It's OE, OE, separate. EO, 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 E, OE. I, ea, ao, oe, ave. And again, this one is tricky because that's av, ia, ev, ia. Or I should say here, ia, av, ia, ie, ev, oe, eo. Some of these letter combinations don't really show up in Greek words, or if they do, they're extremely rare. So not every combination I'm showing here you'll actually see while you're reading. The set of unique sounds that are actually going to appear in words is smaller than the sounds we're practicing on this video. So it's not as hard as you expect. If you need more practice, just go back and re-watch this part of the video again. Maybe mute the sound so that while I move around the letters, you can practice without hearing me say it. You just say it out loud and then go back through and listen again with the audio on so that you can test your work and make sure you're saying it right. Next, I want to present 3 different options of what to do after you've learned the letters and the sounds of the Koine Greek alphabet. Okay, let's step up the challenge a little bit. We're going to practice some actual Greek words. So this is my website, speedgreek.com. It'll probably look a little different by the time you're watching this video, but I have on here a chart. Here it is. Making that a little bigger. I have a chart that shows all the words in level 1 for the Speed Greek vocabulary system. This is a way that you can memorize Greek words using mnemonic techniques. So you're not just memorizing by repetition. When we just now did the alphabet, you're learning that by repetition. That's the easiest, fastest way to do it. But there's very few letters and there's very few sounds. So repetition is a perfectly reasonable way to memorize the alphabet and the sound and the pronunciation. That's not the case with the vocabulary because there's thousands upon thousands, 10,000 words. I think the New Testament has around 5,000 plus unique Greek words. So you don't want to memorize those by repetition, which is the way that most textbooks will teach you to do it. So I've designed this mnemonic method that will help you to remember the words and their definition more quickly once you know the letters. So first word here, Christos. Christos, Chronos, Cosmos, Christos, Chronos, Cosmos. Notice in these first 3 words, that last letter is probably unfamiliar to you. It wasn't on our previous drilling that we did. This is sigma, but sigma, which is like an S in English, when it appears at the end of the word, it looks like this, which is more like an English S. So this is actually pretty easy to see and recognize and pronounce if you're an English speaker. Cosmos has 2 sigmas, one in the middle, which looks like the Greek letter sigma, and then one at the end, which has a different shape, but it's pronounced exactly the same. Cosmeo. Notice these 2 vowels are not a diphthong, so we separate them as 2 separate sounds. Cosmeo, me-o. Phobos. Phobeo. Agape. You've probably heard that word before. Agapetos. Agapao. Oros. And then we can click over to other words. Paralitikos. Paralitikos. This is the longest one we've seen yet, right? So the challenge here is to string all these letter sounds together, and it's just going to take practice, repetitions. Agora. Agorazo. Trophe. Avtos. Agros. Amen. Akuo. Akoe. Angelos. So this is one more trick. Another reason why gamma is tricky is that when you have 2 gammas side by side, the first one sounds like a nu, which is like the N sound. So it's angelos, angelos instead of ayelos or agyelos. It's actually angelos. I think that hits all the tricks with the pronunciation. This is the first possible next step you can do. You can go here to this website and just click through these words. These are specifically chosen to be easy to memorize the meanings. That's why I chose these first 102 words for my level 1 course on Speed Greek. If you sign up for the course and take the course, for every Greek word and every English word, I have a mnemonic so that you can memorize those more easily. Because really, that's the hardest part of learning Greek is just getting that bank of vocabulary words that you know built up so that when you're reading a Greek text like the New Testament, you can recognize the words, the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives. There's just so many vocabulary words. So start building your vocabulary early. If you want to take your Greek pronunciation to the next level, it's worth picking up one of these. This is a Greek Interlinear New Testament. So what this will show you is we've got the English text. In this case, it's the ESV version on one side, and then we have the corresponding Greek New Testament text on the other side, on the same page. And under each Greek word is a quick English definition that you can just quickly see as you're practicing your Greek pronunciation. So this is the one I like. I'll put a link to this book in the description below. The way you can use this is you just open up to one of the New Testament books and start reading the Greek text. Just using the sounds that we practiced earlier in this video, just go through and it's going to be really slow at first. It's going to be difficult. You're going to feel like it takes forever. But this is the muscle that you have to build up if you want to read the New Testament in Greek. As you pronounce those Greek words, that English definition underneath is going to be kind of like captions across the bottom of a video. You know, if you're wanting to learn a foreign language, whether it's Spanish, French, German, whatever it is, you can find movies and TV shows in that language so you're hearing the foreign language being spoken, the language you're trying to learn. At the same time, at the bottom of the video, you see captions in a language that you already know, say English. And that allows you to get sort of an immersive experience where you're taking in the language, but at the same time, you're still able to understand what's going on, which is a key for actually being able to learn, right? If you're just taking in input that doesn't make any sense to you, it's not going to help you learn the language. A Greek interlinear like this is giving you those captions, right? It's not a movie, it's not a TV show, it's a book, but it's the same concept. The main point is just to go through and read lots of Greek text out loud. That will help solidify the pronunciation, and it will strengthen your visual recognition of those letters, because the letters like nu and mu and xi, you know, there are a lot of letters. Rho, it sounds like the English letter R, but it looks like a P. And so rho is probably going to be the hardest letter for you early on. I know it was for me. But after many, many repetitions, you're going to see that rho and you're going to immediately pronounce it like R, like it should be, not like a P as in English. It just takes practice. So pick up a Greek Interlinear New Testament and just start practicing.